Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the thumbnail, we're getting a late spring frost. The Farmer's Almanac says for my area the last frost is April 15th. The locals will say April 1st. Today is April 19th, so it's pretty late. It's 63 right now, sunny. The wind is blowing. It's probably about 12 miles an hour sustained. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's pretty windy. And the low tonight is 39. And you're gonna say to yourself, well, 39's not freezing. You know, how are you gonna get frost? But with the wind chill and the low ground and in your garden where there's, you know, no plants to keep in warmth and stuff, you can easily get down into that threshold of 36 to 34 and get a little bit of frost. Now, most of your plants can handle that, you know, your broccolis, your cauliflower, your cabbages, you know, they can all handle a little bit of cold like that. But over here, we got our pumpkins, our watermelons, and our cucumbers. And at those temperatures, it might not kill the plant, but it's gonna stunt their growth really bad, and it's gonna hurt your harvest. You're gonna have a lot smaller harvest. Sorry about the wind. I'm sure that's picking up on camera. Sorry about that. But anyway, so I'm gonna show you guys what I do when we get a late frost, and how I keep my plants from getting stunted in growth and still get a good harvest even though we're getting a late frost here in April. It kind of sucks that we're getting this, but hey, it's nature and we got to just adapt, and you know, we got to do what we can do just to keep our plants alive. So let me show you what I do. I got some old sheets and curtains right here, and we're gonna cover these plants up tonight. Now, it's gonna be sunny tomorrow, so I wanna make sure I get up kind of early and get out here and get these covers off of the plants before the sun's beating on them, because that will kill them. So if you put the covers on them at night, you wanna make sure that you get up early if it's gonna be real sunny in the morning and take those off right away. But let's go ahead and put some covers on these plants and I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so here's my mound of pumpkins. And you can see it got down to 42 last night, and you can tell that some of them lower, smaller leaves are really wrinkled and not looking so good. Even at 42, it can be a little cold for your pumpkins and watermelons and cucumbers. So what I'm gonna do is I got a 5-gallon bucket here, and I'm just gonna take this bucket and put it over this center plant. Now that bucket will hold the heat in. So I'll take my old sheet here, actually this is a curtain, and I'll put it over this bucket like so. Now these plants are real small, so I have to be careful that this sheet doesn't break them off and break all the leaves and stuff, so you have to be kind of gentle. So I'll put this curtain over there, and I'll set me a nice red brick on top of that bucket, and then I'll set another red brick down here on the sheet to keep it from blowing up. And I'll just drape my sheets all around like that. Now one thing you can do too is water your plants at night before the cold comes. Wet soil will hold the heat in better than dry soil. Now I didn't water these, it rained last night quite a bit, so the ground is wet underneath the surface. And it's only going down to 39. If it was going down to like 34, I'd probably water all this before I covered it. But I think it'll be fine. So this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and put some more bricks on this side. And that's all you really have to do. I'll do the same thing to the watermelon mound over here. I'll put a bucket. These are a little small. They might have got stunted from the cold earlier. They're growing really slow. But I'll go ahead and do the same thing to this mound. And then over there is our cucumbers down the fence line there. And I'll probably just drape a sheet over them real carefully. Maybe even set a couple 5-gallon buckets in between the plants to hold the sheet up. We'll have to see. But let's go ahead and get these watermelons covered up. So I'll do it the same way. Put a bucket over the top watermelon. I'll take my curtain. Try to save the sheets for the cucumbers. You can really feel that wind blowing. That'll really bring the temperature down on the plants at night. Let's put these bricks on there. Go grab a couple more bricks out of the trailer. Okay, so that's what this one looks like. And that's pretty much all it needs. Just something to hold the heat in. I have an old bed sheet here. This is light enough, and cucumbers are a little stronger than pumpkins at this stage. So I'll just lay that sheet over them. Now hopefully the wind doesn't blow the sheet, because I don't have any more bricks over here. I'd have to go over to the building to get more bricks. So I don't really want to. If I just maybe kick some of these pine wood chips on there, that's all I need to do. Just a little bit. Now I don't think I have to worry about it blowing that way because it's tucked down by the fence. Okay, so I got the cucumbers all covered up, except for right there where the wind blew it off. Tuck it down in between the fence and the mound here. Just tuck it down in there. Okay, I got it all covered up. And there's Sky out there wandering around. What are you doing, girlfriend? Sky, stay over here, girl. So, yep, the cucumbers are all covered up. I ran out of sheets and curtains, so these last two I just set buckets over. That'll be fine. I noticed over here we got 2 butternut squashes here that I forgot about, so I'm gonna go see if I got 2 more 5-gallon buckets to put over them. Yeah, I have big rolls of shade cloth that I could use. as frost cloth, but they're big old rolls and I'd have to cut pieces. So I just had some sheets and some curtains. I figured I'd use those. Luckily I had just enough, as long as I got 2 more 5-gallon buckets up here, which I should. I've got plenty of buckets. Okay, so I found 2 more buckets to cover up them butternut squashes that were right there. We planted them in stages. We got some started in the greenhouse. So these are, you know, ones that were in the greenhouse. And then over here, we planted seeds. So we can kind of stagger our plants so we don't have a harvest all at once. Butternuts will grow all year long, no problem. Unless we keep getting these freezes. They don't like the cold. They like it a little bit warmer. They don't like it the extreme heat either though. So, you know, this is the time to grow them. But they'll do okay in the summertime too if you keep them moist and maybe put some straw around them or something to hold in the moisture. So anyway, this was just a quick tip on what I do when we get a late frost. And it kind of sucks because it's just an extra chore that you got to do, you know, to keep your plants alive. And hopefully this is the last one of the year until fall time anyway. And yeah, we're getting there. These plants over here should be fine. Look, it's been so windy, it blew that broccoli over. I'm gonna have to pile up some more dirt around it. That one's about to blow over. But this is broccoli, cauliflower, there's cabbage over there, there's Brussels sprouts down there at the end, and some iceberg lettuce. And all that stuff will be fine with a light frost. Like I said, if it was going down to 34, 33 degrees, then I'd probably be covering these up too with some frost cloth or shade cloth or something, just to keep the frost off of them. The cold's not so bad for them. It's when the frost settles on them, you know, in the morning with the dew and the cold. And with the winds being this high today, we could easily get some temperatures of real feel down to probably close to 34, you know, with it being 39 real temperature, and the wind could easily be close to 34. So they'll be okay at that, but definitely not your watermelons and your pumpkins and your squashes and your cucumbers. You want to take a little bit of time and cover them up at those temperatures. You know, really anything below 50, you should be covering them up. Like I said, last night it got down to like 42, 43, and I didn't cover anything up, but hopefully it's okay. And you know, it might not kill the plant, but what will happen is it'll stunt its growth and it'll cut your harvest in third. You might only get a third of your harvest if they get that cold one night. So hopefully that didn't happen. Hopefully they're okay. And I want to thank you guys for watching. We got quite a few new subscribers. I really do appreciate it. And if you're watching this and you like this kind of stuff and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, because we got more to come. And I appreciate everybody watching, and thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.